In less than 6 days countdown for the national shutdown, which was called by the EFF, we get to see DA, they decided to press charges against the EFF leadership. For what reason? Where were them all this time? Is DA afraid of the national shutdown? Well, we're going to find out in this video. Stay tuned. But before we get to discuss more about this, here's what the DA leadership they have said earlier on.
It is completely unacceptable in a constitutional democracy that the EFF feels it is acceptable to just simply trample over the rights of others in order to make their own demands heard. And this is all the more unjustifiable and repugnant when people are suffering already from multiple assaults on their lives and their livelihoods due to the disastrous lockdowns, ongoing high-stage load shedding, and runaway crime. The DA will therefore be taking a number of steps to preempt this pending violence and prevent it from taking place at all, or at the very least, to lessen the harm that it could perpetrate. First amongst these, we were approaching the court to ensure that the EFF complies with the conditions issued and permits granted by the relevant municipalities giving permission for protest action. These municipalities and enforcement agencies have lists of conditions against which peaceful protest is allowed. Secondly, we are going to be approaching the court today to seek a court interdict to ensure that the EFF leadership formally retracts all intimidation letters that they have issued, such as the letter issued to OR Tambo Airport, warning the airport authority not to allow any flights or business activity on that day. Thirdly, our lawyers have drafted a template affidavit that can be used by any business owners or citizens who have been intimidated by any EFF representatives to report such behavior and press formal charges of intimidation against the leadership of the EFF and their local representatives who act on behalf of the EFF's national leadership, and to request the SAPS to combat and investigate any violation of the legislation that regulates demonstrations, gatherings, and events in South Africa. We call on all South Africans to utilize these instruments to stand against thuggery, lawlessness, and a breakdown of law and order in South Africa.
Now that we have watched this video, I believe we are all in the same page. So let us go through this conversation so that we can bring you out our best analysis. According to the DA, the reason why they have to go to the courts against the EFF leadership, because they believe that it is unacceptable for the EFF to impose this national shutdown on people. Imposing in which way? Well, we're going to find out before this video gets to finish. And they say also that people are suffering. The high number of unemployment, of course, the load shedding, the economic crisis. So they are worried about this national shutdown because it's going to affect the economy of the country. Okay, fine. We already had all this. But let us go quick, guys. They said that they are going to take some measurements in order for them to stop this national shutdown. So, according to the DA, they are describing this national shutdown as a violence act. Guys, honestly speaking, I don't know where this is coming from, but when you get to listen to them, they're describing this as a violence act, and they say they're going to do anything in their power to make sure that they stop this action. So they take the first act by approaching the court so that the court they should follow up to find whether the EFF of Julius Malema they have complied with the law, and if they have the authority or the right to call for this national shutdown. And they say that if they have managed to cooperate with any municipalities are them aware, they have get the letters from this municipality, yes or no. Now, when you get to listen to this, when Julius Malema was asked this question, Because I don't think that he is also a fool that he can just come on the media and say nonsense. Instead, he's well aware of what he's talking about. Have listened to what Julius Malema have said when they asked him about whether they should ask for a permission to have this national shutdown, yes or no. Here's what Julius Malema had said back then.
National shutdown 20 March. We don't apply for nothing. We can't apply for that which is given to us by the Constitution. It is our constitutional right to protest, and we shall protest on the 20th of March.
On the second point of the DA statement, they said that they will approach the court to interdict the EFF leadership on all the threats that they had placed to the people company, because Julius Malema had asked his fighters to place letters, like try to negotiate with the taxi drivers, truck drivers, companies, business owners, just try to negotiate with them, informing them that on this day it will be a national shutdown. And it did not impose on people that no, you should just go ahead and obey to them, to what we are saying. And they did not either threaten anyone, unless what we are hearing now from the DA leadership. They're saying that the court should try to tell the EFF, they should try to take back all the threatening words that they have put out there to the companies and business owners, so that they should not be part of this national shutdown, guys. But to note here, it is not a threat. A person who wants to threaten you, they don't need to go and do it by writing letter. They don't write a letter to you. They'll tell you with their mouth, because they don't want or they don't need to have any evidence that will incriminate them one day. So that is not a threat. If it happened that EFF members, they came to your office or to the place of your work and they talk to you nice with the writing letter, that is not a threat. So here again, something is missing, but we're going to find out.
Our lawyers have drafted a template affidavit that can be used by any business owners or citizens who have been intimidated by any EFF representatives to report such behavior and press formal charges of intimidation against the leadership of the EFF and their local representatives who act on behalf of the EFF's national leadership, and to request the SAPS to combat and investigate any violation of the legislation that regulates demonstrations, gatherings, and events in South Africa. We call on all South Africans to utilize these instruments to stand against thuggery, lawlessness, and a breakdown of law and order in South Africa.
Thirdly, DA, they have launched a writing letter which is approved by their lawyer, that they will have to share with all the business owners in case if anyone is being threatened, or if anyone being a victim of any violence or anything that you feel like you need to report. They're encouraging these people to not even report to the police, but they should report it in this letter, which they will have to take it and bring it to the court. Guys, now my question to you, with all this being said, who's provoking who? Who's being threatened? Who's threatening another person? Because we're talking about the same DA who went and marched at Lutuli House. When they did that, they were not attacked, whether by the EFF, they were not even criticized, whether by even any other political party. They went there and faced the ANC. After the ANC had defeated them, they went quiet. This national shutdown of the EFF, it was not announced today. This national shutdown, it was announced about 2 months ago, because it was in January, and it's taking place on the 20th of March of this year. So you get to see that all this time they were quiet. They were not doing much about it. They were not making noise about it. They were not saying anything about it. All of a sudden, in the last minute, they have to go and start pressing all these pressing these charges against the EFF. For what reasons? It is very simple, guys. The open eye mask, as they always call them, is the ones behind all this. Because we all know by now that the economy of this country, it is right in the hands of the white majority than the black majority. And they never accept it, they always deny it. And these are the evidence now that can open the eyes of each and every South African to understand that any person who have something to lose, any person who's afraid of something bad to happen to them, they are trying by all means to protect their own interest. Yes, because they know if this national shutdown happen, they are going to lose something. Forget about what is saying that no, it is a violence. There is no violence, guys. I can play you almost all the press conference and the speech held by the EFF leader Julius Malema. There is no a place where he called for violence, not even in a small place. Instead, he was just reminding the law enforcement the right of peaceful protesters and what they should done on that day. That is the only thing he was doing.
So we don't want to be a Boko Haram. We want to be a political party that enjoys the support of its people through conscience. So we sent to our people on the 20th of March, let's go and show our dissatisfaction. Why is it like that? We cannot just sit back and behave like everything is okay. It is the masses through rising that they will be able to tell the government that we've reached a point where we can no longer tolerate this nonsense. But without those types of actions, government thinks it is on the right track. So we need to conscientize the masses, because the masses are going to say, but why the 20th of March? Why are we doing what we are doing? Then we start talking to them and saying to them, the country is going down. The country is collapsing. And therefore, if you don't rise in the defense of the country, it's gone. It is 20th of March. It is a peaceful protest. All of us will be there. And no one must dare do what they did on the 21st of March.
Never call any fighters to say that, okay, look, on that day, you must go and loot. You must go and do this. You must go and do that. And you never do that. So why the DA are coming right now saying all this? Because they have something to lose. Because they know very well that the economy of this country, they are the one who are controlling it. And they know that on that day, they will lose a lot. So now they don't have a proper excuse to advance about all this. Instead, they have to come up with such excuses saying that no, it calls for violence. It is something that it's going to bring up people for looting. It's something going to do this, blah, 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 blah. It is for the same very, very, very simple reasons. Now, guys, after this being said, they asked him a question by the journalist, because after they had placed these court charges against the EFF leadership, they asked John, do you have any proof? Or where and when did you hear the EFF calling for the violence? For all these things you are saying that now they are threatening people. Do you have any? Have listened to what he responded.
Where exactly did you hear them say that they will, for example, be damaging property and prohibiting businesses from operating on that day of the 20th? When exactly did you hear them, and what exactly did they say?
Well, the EFF leader himself just yesterday was on the radio calling on all businesses to close down. The EFF have been visiting businesses around the country, telling them that if they don't close, they're going to be looted. They even served a notice on OR Tambo International Airport saying that if they don't shut down the airport on the day, there are going to be consequences. There's loud hailing taking place in a variety of communities, and all of these obviously being sent through to public representatives by very worried citizens who are petrified that this is going to be a spark that sees what happened in KwaZulu-Natal in July turning into something that takes place at a national level. And so we're taking preemptive measures to try and avoid a repeat of what happened in July in KZN on a national scale. And then we protect the lives, livelihoods, and both private and public infrastructure from potential damage.
Guys, with this being said, inside the courts, this man is going to lose this case. Yes, because what he said and the question which was put before him, the question that they put before him, it was referring to what he had said, that they're busy campaigning for looting, they're busy encouraging people into violence, and they asked him, when did you hear this? He's supposed to answer to the question. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Instead, what he did, he's saying that no, the president of EFF, Julius Malema himself, yesterday, he was busy on the radio calling people for the national shutdown. Yes, it is normal, dude. That is normal. It's just kind of trying to remind people of something that which was been announced already. Reminding people that in few days, it is about to happen. Some people, perhaps, I have strong feelings that maybe some people, they don't know what is national shutdown. Because now we get to confuse national shutdown into looting. Obviously, you get to see that the man is afraid. Why is he afraid? He said it himself. Because of what had happened in the time when the President Jacob Zuma was arrested. The looting which took place. So, he's afraid. But why is he afraid? Because it is EFF. And this is how you get to see a political party which scares other political parties. I'm telling you guys, because this is the proof. If there is any political party at the moment, or any group, any movement that should worry about this national shutdown, there is no other movement or any political party better than ANC. Because ANC, one, they are the ruling party. They are the one who are in power. If an opposition party goes on the streets, it should already scare them already. It should be something that will make them feel like, okay, these people, they will make our voters to hate us. ANC did not do so. If there is any political party that should be worried, like, okay, what if our economy, or what if they looting or whatsoever, that should be the ANC, because they're the one who are more concerned here. According to the EFF leadership, as they were giving their reasons on why they have to call for this national shutdown, they were very clear. They want the president of a republic to step down with his cabinet and solve the problem of the load shedding, isn't it? Now, with that being said, obviously it's supposed to be the ANC who's supposed to be scared. But they're not even there. They are looking at the whole situation, they are laughing, they are more relaxed, they are fine. They are peace at it. And I remember some of high-profile members from the ANC, when they were asked this question about the national shutdown, they said that, no, I mean, why should we pay attention to a political party which they want to march? All we ask from them, they should march peacefully and not violently. So, this is the same language they're supposed to have. But unfortunately, that is not the case. They are turning against opposition political party, which is like the one of them. Do you know why? Because EFF never joined them when they went to Lutuli House. Yes, when they got disappointed in that Lutuli House match, EFF was not there. Because it was a failure. And I told you, for those who always watch me time to time, guys, you'll agree with me. I have told you before that this national shutdown, it is a chaotic punch that the EFF will give to many political parties in this country. If it has to succeed, which means it will be one of a confirmation that the EFF, it is now the more official opposition party, because they get to know you as an opposition political party, when you still have that thing, you know, where you can order, you instruct, and the people, they obey, they listen to you. Now, we all know that it's been for some times now, as since the DA, they went to Lutuli House. I have said in my analysis that the reason why DA, they could not even be supported with other political party or anything like that, because whatsoever they were doing, they were giving as a reasons. It is something that both opposition political parties, they've been saying against the ruling party. So they at least supposed to be united and organize, whether it is a march, whether it is a national shutdown, whatsoever it is, they're supposed to be united, but they did not do so. Do you know why? Because there were this kind of arrogancy among themselves, where you get to see the DA saying that, no, as we were the firstborn of the opposition political party, therefore, you guys, you must do what we are telling you. You must listen and obey to everything we are ordering you, because you are new in the opposition political parties. So therefore, you must just have to listen to what we are saying. On the other side, we are having a stubborn young man such as the EFF, whom they believe that regardless of how many years, how old you are more than me, you must know that a child can play a drum and an old person can still dance to it. So what we're saying, you must also listen to us. So that makes them already, they have to go in their two separate ways. And since then, there is no way that such a big political party as a DA, they will accept for the EFF of Julius Malema to succeed in everything that they are doing. Whether it is in the parliament, whether it is among the prostates or march, anything, they will not gonna like it. Plus, all these things of municipalities, mayors being put aside with a motion of no confidence. On other side, EFF turning their backs against the DA in their coalition. There is no way that DA was just going to sit and not doing something about this. So right now, with all these things that I just put before you, you get to understand that actually the person who's afraid of the national shutdown is not even the ANC. ANC is not even there. ANC, they don't even care, because they know. Let me tell you something, maybe for your own information. ANC, they do consider this national shutdown as a, how do you call this, as a match. That's how they take it. The people who are coming to say that these things will turn into looting and what, it is only DA, because they are afraid, because they know they have something to lose in case if this looting have to take place. So these things of them coming, lying in the names of the population, saying that people are suffering, saying that no, we are trying to avoid this and that, it is all a lie. Proof to that, they ask me a very simple question. If you have any or any place where he had the EFF, they are calling people for looting, he failed to demonstrate that. Now, what if the EFF in their return, they decide to take him to court so that he can go and prove where the EFF, they have called for violence? Don't you think that things are not going to look good? Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I believe it was very important to talk about this. Yes. So stay alert. Very soon, we're going to see what will happen. Don't leave this video without giving us your thumbs up. We'll really do appreciate it. Okay? But for now, continue to be yourself. Be good. Be kind. Have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.